you hear these folks bragging about this economic miracle, just remember when it started.
Well, it's now pretty much become a fundamental talking point from former President Obama as he makes his way on the campaign trail. He is set at any moment to take the stage in Philadelphia, probably where he's going to talk more about how he's responsible for the economic boom that we're in right now. Here now is Steve Forbes, Forbes media chairman, and Doug Holtz-Eakin, American Action Forum president and former director of the Congressional Budget Office. So, Steve, do you think voters are buying what President Obama is saying?
I think on that they're just turning him off. After all, he said people don't create businesses, government does. And in this case, it's the American people who are creating the boom. Government didn't create the boom. The numbers are there, David. It's like a last-place team, and then they get a new manager and start to move up and get to first place. No, it's a new management, new team, and by golly, better results.
And, Doug, I don't think you could find two series of economic policies more different than those of President Obama and those of President Trump. I mean, President Obama, when he came in during the depth of the recession, he raised taxes and increased regulations, two things you're not supposed to do based on all economic theory, whereas President Trump, when he came in, did exactly the opposite. He lowered tax rates and decreased regulations dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, it is like night and day. And as Steve said, it was big government versus let the private sector do it. First one didn't work. This is working just in every way. You can see it in the numbers, whether it's GDP growth, whether it's the unemployment rate. You can see it in attitudes. Small business confidence is at a 35-year high. Consumer confidence has recovered tremendously. This is an economy that is moving and gaining momentum as it goes.
So, Steve, I'm just wondering, I mean, obviously, the President Obama, every president likes to leave a legacy behind, and they like to brag about their legacy. I think he is more concerned, forgive me, President Obama, but about his own legacy than he is about the truth here. And I think even if voters see through him and his claim to victory on what's happening with the economy right now, he'll continue with it just because he's trying to cement his legacy.
Well, he talked about lines in the sand. His legacy is in the sand, but the tide has come in and washing it away, whether it's North Korea, whether it's the Iranian policy.
Good for keeping the analogy there, Steve.
Whether it's economic policy, it's gone. Health care has failed. There'll be changes. And everywhere you look, everything he thought was big, gone.
Now, Doug, there are still some serious concerns with the economy. I think of the deficit. The deficit is continuing to grow, not because of tax cuts, but because these guys inside the Beltway can't stop spending.
Absolutely a big problem. It's not a 2018 threat. It's probably not a 2019 threat. But you cannot have a debt growing faster than the rate of the economy as far as the eye can see, and that's the current situation. It's going to have to be dealt with at some point. And the longer they put it off, the harder it will be to deal with it. So it seems to me it's time to do that, but so far the political will hasn't arisen to get on it.
Of course, Steve, you know what they're saying now. They're saying this is, again, proof that supply side doesn't work. That is, if you lower tax rates, supply siders think that you will increase revenue, the money coming into the government, because you create so many more jobs and so many more businesses that are spending and giving tax money to the government. In fact, tax revenues are doing very well right now. It's just that they're spending like crazy.
Well, that's right. And why is the health of Washington financial situation more important than the health of the American people? They are doing better. Jobs are being created. Incomes are going up. So Washington cries, America cheers. That's the bottom line.
What about trade, Doug? There are big concerns about what is going to happen with trade. Could that stall the economy?
I'm among those who's concerned about this. There is no question that a large-scale trade war would be damaging not just to the U.S. economy, but to the global growth, something that would be completely undesirable. So it's worth watching. The administration has claimed consistently it's going to use these tariffs as tactical tools to get better trade agreements with lower tariff and non-tariff barriers to trade. One hopes that's the outcome, that the end game's near. But it's a risk to the economy at the moment.
It is a risk to the economy, but you look at the market today, up again 86, a new record for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I mean, they do forecast the future very often. Markets usually get it right. Not always, but usually. Gentlemen, great to have you both. Steve and Doug, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.